always moving. You're always keeping that stuff ahead of you.
Yeah.
And really paying attention to what's going on. And some of the easier difficulties, you can take a hit or two, but in Nightmare, you've really got to be on the move.
All right. So now tell me about this section here.
Yeah. So this is the Lazarus facility, and this is a little bit more than halfway into the game.
Okay.
And at this point, you can kind of see architecturally and visually, it's quite a different experience. This place is pretty overrun. This is really the cult of the UAC. I mentioned that we've tried to really infuse the UAC with a bit more. I think when we were talking earlier, I said we've tried to infuse the UAC with a lot more. I almost don't want to talk over because so people can hear it. But infuse the UAC with a lot more just kind of weird. We've made them very weird, and because they are weird. I mean, they experiment on demons.
It's definitely like kind of self-aware too. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's meant to be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Like this line right here.
Resolve any questions or concerns on the initiative to weaponize the demons. Report to the chapel.
It's like not words you'd expect to hear in a business facility.
Yeah, you report to the chapel immediately. Please save your work before you. It's like,
yeah.
What are they doing here?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's actually, pretty cool. Again, when you think about the other Dooms, right? Doom 1 and Doom 2, definitely, it had its layer of story, but it wasn't one of those things that was like beating you over the head with it.
Definitely.
But then
this is actually what the game is all about right here.
Yeah,
it's like
it's about the weapons.
Awesome
it's about
guns, and how you're going to use them, and kind of getting a sneak peek here of all of the types of upgrades. Again, at this point in the game, you've got a lot of the guns, you've got most of the mods. If you found the mod drones that do the delivery.
Yeah, so many points right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of points, so he's just kind of we're doing what we call dev load into so that we can jump ahead. So we just jumped ahead into the game. So we kind of set him up so we've got a lot of points, kind of a rough approximation of what you would have in the game. Here he's going to upgrade his suit a little bit more to kind of be more in line with this challenge. It's funny actually when you're playing like this sometimes at the office, somebody will try to play a later level without actually upgrading, and they'll have they'll have a hard time and they'll be like, man, this is too hard. And like, did you do your upgrades?
I wonder who is going to be the person that plays Ultra Nightmare, no upgrades.
That would be hard.
How hard would that be?
So we have
scale of 1 to impossible.
Yeah, we have a couple people at the office that have gotten about a little over halfway through without dying, but nobody internally has made it all the way through Ultra Nightmare without dying. So
wow.
We have a way to test it so that we know that it works. But as far as purely playing it exactly how it's how somebody might do it in the wild, nobody's done it yet. So it's going to be one of those things that when it comes out, it's going to be fun to see somebody do it. And it's interesting because it's one of those things like you think, man, somebody'd be really frustrated if they get all the way through the game and they die, towards the end. We had a contest a couple weeks ago of people trying to get through it, and one guy got about halfway through. He died and kind of put the controller down and he's like, man, I love this game. And that's the kind of that's just the fun we feel internally. Yeah, the Pinky, he's such a cool enemy.
This is so cool.
Hugo just exposed his weak spot right there. He's fun because if you he's really tough if you try to take him on from the front. But if you shoot him in the tail, he's much weaker from the tail. So you can use different guns and different combinations of guns to kind of exploit that weakness in him.
That makes sense. So, Hugo, you've been playing this quite a bit.
Yes.
I kind of want to get your thoughts. Who's like probably one of your favorite demons to face off against?
Probably the Pinky, because of what Marty said. Like we work hard to make sure that the enemies really make you think. Even though it's like a full-on action game, it's all about killing demons. There's definitely like a lot of strategy that goes on while you're fighting, and the Pinky really introduces that because he's armored from the front, weaker from behind. You kind of have to game him to get him to charge you, so you can spin around to his backside and hit him where he's not armored. There are different mods and stuff that you can use to do that. So it's sorry, Sorry, trying to concentrate. It makes it pretty fun.
You do what you have to do. Okay, you slay these demons. You destroy these monsters.
Right now, actually, I have something set up where I can get I have my runes set up, which is another part of the progression in the game, where basically I've equipped myself for speed. So you unlock these doing challenges in the game. This one is vacuum, so I can actually suck up some of the resources in the world without actually having to walk over to it.
Okay,
this one is
cool.
savagery. I can perform glory kills faster, and this one is blood fueled. I get a speed boost once I perform a glory kill.
Yeah,
so
that one's really fun. If you love the speed of the game and want and even you've gotten used to it and you can control it really well, he's my favorite enemy in the game.
I have a running joke with my stream. I call him the Scottish Demon whenever I get him. It's one of my friends who's British, but I say he's Scottish just to mess with him. And whenever I get the Revenant in the multiplayer, I was like, the Scottish Demon. And I just ran around with this like really, really bad accent the entire time. I don't know, it's just kind of fun to like lose yourself in the game and just have a good time with it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually seeing exactly what you're talking about when you mentioned how you built the levels for, or these particular areas for combat, right?
Yeah.
I saw it right away, because even I'm looking at it, and as a gamer and someone who is going to play this game a lot, I looked at it and I'm like, oh man, I could probably go here, I could use this weapon here, and really just have fun with it. Because for me, I'd probably bust out a rocket launcher and just go to town on a lot of these people.
Yeah, it's actually, you can show that. This area is really, really fun. There's the heavy assault rifle. He's got actually the scoped mod on it there. This is the rocket launcher. This is similar to in multiplayer. You can remote detonate it, and in an arena like this, it's really fun to use that because you can explode it in the air. Like you get guys that are up on those higher
that's my
perches.
baby right there.
Yeah.
I love the pulse rifle.
Oh yeah,
So good.
the plasma. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it has some cool, like there he used the stun mod to stun that Revenant and then take him out with a second shot.
Oh my God.
One of
is that?
People saw this at E3, but why don't you show real quick the weapon wheel? Because it's a fundamental part of actually switching weapons fast.
Chain gun.
Yes. Yeah, this is really cool.
What
chain
is
gun.
that? Is that
That's the base. That's the base chain gun.
But what is he fighting? I can't
Oh,
see.
I think that was a Hell Knight.
Oh, it was a helmet. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't see too well from here. Oh my God, it's so cool. Oh, he's just picked up haste.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And it's cool to enter an arena. I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a pro tip. You walk into an arena and you see, it's very Doom also. You walk into an arena and you see a power up in the world and you're like, I wonder when I should use that. Like, you see a haste or a quad damage or something like that, and you really have to kind of have this moment of thought of like, I'm gonna wait until I just absolutely need that. And then even on replays, you kind of choose different times to do it. And the difficulty setting, the way the arenas are constructed, the improvisational nature of the combat, it all makes it very. We say this all the time. The game's really replayable. It's really fun to go back to arenas and play them over.
Especially
and
with
over.
the different settings, right?
Absolutely.
And even with the different
Pump up the
approaches
difficulty.
you can take. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We even have, as we've prepared for demonstrations like E3 and that kind of thing, we have almost like competitions internally to see who can make it look the best, who can do it. So I think, we're here at Twitch, but I think people will really dig the ability to do playthroughs and runs on missions over and over and just show it in a totally different light and with different upgrades and different rune abilities.
Well, I think what's really going to be exciting, in particular for people who stream Doom on Twitch, is, one thing that people love to see is failure.
Yeah.
Okay, they love failure.
Yes.
Okay. I think games like Dark Souls are a testament to that. People love watching that. They love watching people fail and get frustrated and do all that stuff. I watch a lot of those streams where they have death counters at the top of like how many times they've tried to do this thing. And I think that is something that people are actually really going to gravitate to here, right?
Yeah.
Like how many times I fail, how many times I succeed, how I do so, and the sick things that happen mid-game, because there's always going to be these crazy moments.
Yep.
So something I did want to touch on here is, of course, Doom, you guys brought back a lot of mechanics that were very familiar to Doom, such as no reloading, which I just want to point out, first day playing the multiplayer beta, and I, again, had never really touched Doom that much. I wasn't, too familiar with it. And I was playing, and I'm like, where do I reload? I'm just so used to reloading.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, you don't in Doom. But then you guys also added, things that weren't in the original Doom, such as, jumping, right?
Yeah.
Which is something that you really couldn't do in that.
It'd be hard to not have a game nowadays without
jumping. Yeah. But I think that is quite interesting, because a lot of, to be realistic, these days a lot of people are kind of releasing games with very similar mechanics, whether that be aim down sights, whether that would be sprinting. A variety of different tools. We're seeing movement really play a role in a lot of different things now. What was, I guess, the challenge for you guys there? Because essentially, you have to make a game that is classic Doom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to make a game that speaks to the community while also making a game that speaks to a new audience. And do you feel like you hit that balance there?
I feel like we did. It is a challenge. We've spent years in development on this. This is actually, I'll answer that question, but this is actually one of the rune trials. But just to show it here. So we talked about those. We talked about the runes that you can earn. You do these through these trials, and they basically take you to a different. Kind of like a little challenge level.
Oh, that's sick. So you just got to destroy everything in a minute and 30 seconds, 14.
For this
different
one.
every time.
Yeah, it's different every single time, and each one gives you a different rune trial. There's 12 of them throughout the game, and that one is destroy everything within a certain amount of time. There's ones where it's more about movement and getting through through the world in a certain amount of time. And then again, those unlock these. These are upgraded or mastered through challenges, so you can see their vacuum. You can upgrade. It's actually already upgraded, but some of the other ones, you have to kind of continue to use that. The nice thing, actually, if you go back to runes real quick, it's when you get your first rune, you get these slots, and so you get your first slot. But then as you continue to play, when you've found and been awarded 4 runes, it opens up a second slot. And then once you've done 7, it opens up a third slot. And these are all stacking capabilities. So you get this really awesome ability to tune the gameplay to exactly how you want, just based on stacking these runes together in different combinations. And you can adjust these at any point during the gameplay. He just jumps in here and does this. So you get into a boss fight, and you may adjust your runes. Like you maybe don't want something that plays so much into glory kills. You want something that gives you infinite ammo when your health or when your armor's above a certain, which is another one of them. So you can kind of fine tune your gameplay based on the situations and based on how you want to play. We're gonna jump ahead again. That's why the stream went away.
I showed that auto map because the runes are like a huge part of like the experience in Doom, and you could really tailor, like Marty said, the experience